So we've been talking about, of course, okay, so we've got the big event coming up in October. I think, Kristen, what's that? Justine, 21, 22? Is that when it is?
20th
21st?
and the 21st.
2021. Okay, so
Yep.
21st. Of course, if you're not going, you should go. Everybody here in the chat, if you love the events, put it in the chat to encourage people that have never gone to go. They're amazing. You will love it. But also the new thing now is we on this one we get to invite a couple of realtors if we want to do that. So we've been talking about that last week. We're going to continue this week a little bit with it. Just the whole notion of inviting real estate agents to events. Now we make our calls, right? We're always trying to get a coffee appointment, that kind of a thing. Meet with them on Zoom, face to face. But another thing that we offer when we make calls is inviting them to something, right? So an event. We've also got, don't forget, guys, we have the agent mastermind through Marketing Animals as well. So if you can't make the physical event in Florida in October and invite a couple of real estate agents, every single month we have Agent Mastermind, which is a virtual event, right? A Zoom event where the agents get coached and get really great information for them to improve their business, that kind of thing. So we've always got that as well. I thought we gotta talk to Robin Labatia about this because I know she does this stuff. She's been doing this for a long time, and so we were hoping we can glean a little more information, Robin, on like how do you go about doing it, getting invited in? What kind of results could we expect? I mean, how's it worked for you? That kind of a thing. Thoughts? Go ahead. You're muted. Your sister. So I'm not going to sad trombone you, but I want you to know if that was Carl, it would have been done.
It would have been
Toast.
done.
Toast.
Done.
Well, I have the
Yeah.
opposite problem in my office where somebody always is unmuted, but then he's like doing all sorts of, crazy crumpling paper noise in the background, and you're always like, "Hey, hey, can you mute? Can you mute?" So I'm addicted to muting. By the way, Carl, it's very rare that I get credit where none is due. So I appreciate you this morning, sir. It's I'll take that any day of
Your
the week.
inspiration overflows.
I'll take that any day of the week, you guys. So yeah, it's interesting. I think that invites for me got a little bit disconnected. Not a little bit, I would say a lot of bit disconnected for a while. And I started to heavily rely on less influence, more technology, more, I sent a text message, I sent an email, it's in my CRM, maybe even a video. And I will tell you the very best thing that shifted for me was getting back to a more personalized, a higher touch. Especially because if we're being honest, you guys, we could send an invite out, and it's not a bad idea ever to send something out and say, hey, my top 20 agents, my top 100 agents, 5,000 agents. There's not a number that you're limited to, especially when you're doing that on email, on text message, those kind of things. And asking over and over and over again. I think it's one of the keys of what you guys do every single day, Carl, is you're so good at staying not only top of mind, but it's almost like in our lives, we have these moments where we go, yeah, I'm busy right now, or shoo shoo. And then pretty soon it's like, gosh, this won't in a way go away. So maybe it is something I need in my life, right? Maybe it's something that I need to grab hold of. And so I think that's all a win. But what really shifted for me was grabbing hold of a lot better scripting and a lot better touch in terms of either belly to belly. And if you can't do that, obviously phone is your next biggest, well, I would say Zoom or Teams online, face to face. And third is phone for something that's truly like, hey, let's travel together. Let's travel together, which is bigger. That's a way bigger invite than here's a Zoom link if you want to join this
Hmm.
class I'm going to, right? That's when you're saying, let's spend money on flights, let's go to a class for a couple days. There's a lot bigger influence needed, if you will, and reason why. And so I thought I would kind of give you guys today, Frank and I were messaging about it, just a really super simple framework that I've used forever that I think would help a whole bunch. One, hopefully you're in touch enough with your referral partners in general that you know a bit about their goals. Are they on track? Are they off track? And here's what's always interesting. Generally, you guys, even if we're on track and crushing it, there's still a need. And when I say there's still a need, it's for me, what I see most of the time is if somebody's all of a sudden booming in their business, they might be lacking in their personal life or in their balance or in their joy because they're doing great, but they're, on the brink of burnout or feeling really unbalanced or unaligned in their life. So there's always a reason, or they could be dead. Dead as can be, having a terrible year in a really bad spot, right? And so there's tons of reasons and a wide variety. It doesn't matter who's crushing it or who's doing poorly, that have a need to go learn, if you will, and have a reset. And I love the October date because it's a proven fact that if you are in really in tune with your business, your goals and your planning are all completed by November 1. So October is really your sweet spot to do that. So let me give you the framework real quick. So one, uh, tell them why you thought of them specifically.
Hmm.
I think that when we go, hey, I wanted to invite you to this thing. I'm going. It'd be great. I think calling people today for that, and you don't think of them specifically, I think is a really big deal. And the reason that I talked about where they're at in their production is you can then lead with their goals and or their frustrations that hopefully they've shared with you. If you don't know that information, telling them why you specifically thought of them is even better, right? Maybe they go to this stuff all the time. Maybe you've never seen if they've ever gone to anything like this, and never shared anything like this, never talked to them about it. So that's one. Two is share the value and transformation that you potentially have had. And if you don't have that, share your fear that you have never been, never invested in it, but would love to go and invest in it for the first time with them, right? Like really, really big deal to kind of find a commonality there. And then I always acknowledge that, hey, this is, yes, airfare, those kind of things, but not in a way that like, oh, this is, I know it's going to cost you or it's going to be expensive or airfare's really gone up. Very much do you ever go to events? Do you attend them? What's your, typical investment that you make? And how much different do you feel coming off of a day and a half or 2 days live versus Zoom? I don't know about you, but I love to share a little bit of pain and or just honesty. I love, I think Carl calls it integrity, right? In our answers. And the truth is, when I'm on Zoom, I'm also often on email. When I'm on Zoom, I'm often always looking at my cell phone, right? And so there's a very big difference, not only in the room, what we learn, but then who we shake hands with and spend time with afterwards, fireside chats, lunchtime, where you can really dig in with other people who are growing and or possibly ahead of you, or you can help them. And the truth is that human connection makes us feel alive and often re-energizes our business. So having that, and then talking about really the experience and what you've had together. And so, when you have someone who's like, hey, I'm serious about growing, and Clearwater, Florida can't hurt you guys. That can never be a
Right.
bad thing in October, right? Like, it's not like we're asking them to come to Eugene, Oregon, okay? Like, you've got a leg up on all of us, Carl, in that regard. So there's a big win there. But I think for me, I love to call 10 or 15. I mean, the truth is, you're probably going to get a couple to potentially be interested. The more enthusiastic and or in tune with the event you are, the more they're going to be. And if it's I thought I'd invite you to this event, and I'll add this part, that the time and investment that I have gotten, the depth of relationship that I've had with agents who've attended events with me. I had multiple come with me to, an annual event, semi-annual event, really, and multiple that came with me. And to this day, when we sit down, we'll talk about things that we learned at that event together.
Hmm.
So the stickiness of spending a couple days working on, not in, big difference. Working on, not in your business is such a win to share. And it should speak to the value proposition that I don't want to just issue you a pre approval letter. I don't want to just be a fast communicator. I want to invest in you growing your business, making more money, right? Having more time, having more joy in your business. And this event that will do that for and with you. So, does that help a little bit, Frank?
It does, and when you were talking about this, it really started to make me think about, being so picky about who to invite. And I like the way you opened it up too. I specifically thought of you because of something, right? that's a good lead in to approaching the agents that you really would like to bring because,
Mhm.
like you said, that type of an experience is going to result in, a lot of ongoing equity with that person, so it's really it would we got to really think a lot about who it is that we want to do something like this with, and
Yeah.
make sure we get the right person there. So, and I don't want it to sound like, I want to make sure I get somebody who's going to give me this many a month, but kinda, like you want to make sure you're bringing somebody or inviting somebody and hopefully getting them to go to an event like this, that's really going to um, be something that you want to be strongly tied to for some time going forward, So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it helps a lot. That's kind of I'm glad you went down this direction with it because that's what I wanted to kind of get out on this is here, it's available. This is happening in October, and be thoughtful, really thoughtful about who to invite, and so that process is, I think this is the biggest, most critical component to this notion, this concept of bringing an agent is who, right? Who do I even approach? And like you
Hmm.
said, maybe there's 15 or 20 on the list, and maybe you only get two of them, but make sure that 15 to 20 are really good ones that you would really want to have that kind of a long lasting, bonded experience with. That's going to result in, I mean, you've done this before. So, I mean, this definitely results in getting some business, I would have to imagine. So,
I think there's power to you guys, even if they can't come, the fact that you think of them and that you've told them you've
mm,
thought of them and that you want to travel to something like this with them shows a different level of obviously investment and engagement and those kind of things. It's easy to invite the one that you always possibly hang out with, but the additional, a great, an easy way to say something like that is, hey, I care enough about your success to recommend something. I'd invest in myself. In fact, I am investing in it myself, right? Share some takeaways of events that you have gone to and what changes you've made, right? At why they've impacted your business. This isn't a bunch of speakers on the stage. I'll say that out loud, and that just inspire you. This is a workshop event, right? You walk
mhm.
out of there with actual tactical, relevant plans for growing and enhancing, if you will, your business in general, right? And so when you're able to spend some time, like people don't ever mind paying for something, and I think we could all agree with it. If somebody thought of me intentionally, if somebody could show me something that the value exceeds the cost, if someone could show me they were making recommendation, not just sale, because it's something they see a need for in my business or an opportunity for me. And if somebody said something, to me that, hey, and I'll go with you, if you will. I don't care if it's a antique fair or a real estate class or anything else, like we'll be there together. I think there's, whether they attend or not, you're strengthening relationships because it positions you as a partner, right? As somebody who is asking or looking at and investing in growth, not just business. And I think that's a huge win. They might say, I shoot, those dates don't work for me. Awesome. I bet you there's dates coming around in about six
Mhm.
months later, right?
Mhm.
Like but you can kind of see or gain their interest, if you will, for also for 2027. That's what we're embarking on, right? 2027. So
Yeah. Someone put in the chat too about the cost or who pays or something like that. And Carl, I kind of look for your feedback on this, but like in my neck of the woods and knowing the top dogs that are out here in the real estate side of things, they're always going doing it. They're always doing something, going to Vegas for some seminar or down into Monterey or whatever the case may be. And for them, I don't think, a plane fare and a hotel is that big of a deal, right? I don't think it's like, whoa, what's that going to cost? And
mhm.
maybe if that's, that if that is the response from an agent, maybe it's not the right one. The cost, I don't know. What are your thoughts on the cost or paying for agents or whatever, Carl? What do you think
You,
about
you
that?
know, I don't think there's a wrong approach to this. I've heard some really smart people. We had somebody on here just the other day saying one of our coaches, gosh, I'm trying to remember who it was. He said, "Hey, sometimes I do pay for their way." right?
Mm,
Like I'm already, let's say, I don't know, Ben Casper. Ben
mm,
Casper and he's a real estate agent, and we've been working together for this year, and I've closed 5 deals for him. I'd run it through my RESPA compliance, of course, as I recommend everybody else does. And my RESPA compliance says, yeah, it's okay to do that. And we've done 5 deals, and I'm averaging four. He's put 20 grand in my pocket. Sure, I would look at doing that. My natural reaction though is like, usually the people that say, "Hey, you're going to buy my ticket," they probably can't afford to go, and that probably isn't somebody that's qualified that I'd be calling in the first place. And that's not 100% true, but let's call that 90% true, of all people. Um, so I don't think there's a wrong way. I think you have to look if you'll know the right offer to make to the right person. Always keep in mind though, and I know I've said this 1,000 times, but always keep this in mind. There's 1,000 of them qualified agents, and there's one, Jeff Williams. There's one
mm,
David Bolton's. There's one Lauren Hutzman. There's the odds are in your favor. And like Robin said, hey, reach out to like 10 or 15 of them. One or two will say, sure, let's look into this.
mm.
So I don't think there's a right or wrong approach to that. My personal approach, if they're a top producer and we've done some business for the last year, yeah, I might would pay. But but normally, no. We're going Dutch on something like this. It's one thing to buy their dinner, their coffee. It's another thing to buy their event. For me, Robin, you might have a different approach that's 100% right.
No, it's funny. I've actually had pain in this over the years. So I've done it to where I've made it super simple and hey, I'll pay for you if you will. I will warn you guys on my side at least, and I'm only speaking from my experience, so other people could very easily counterbalance this. I know that people having skin in the game matters because what happens
Yeah.
is you buy the ticket, they haven't bought their airfare yet. Next thing you know, last minute they can't go. And it's not as much as they're like, sorry about that. You all of a sudden have reserved them a spot and they didn't have their airfare and those kind of things booked. And so one of the things that, continued momentum around enthusiasm really matters in these spaces. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm going to book flights. I'll send you mine, get yours booked. And then I'm happy to pay your entrance fee, possibly, right? Like there's some things like that,
Yeah.
but you want to make sure that they also have skin in the game. I think that's a really big deal. I don't tend, I'm with you, Carl. I think that it possibly is the wrong people in the room. I'd rather be at the event and buy them dinner, if I'm being super honest, right? I'd
Yeah.
rather take them out or maybe bring them something for coming to the event or a memento or a, Carl bobblehead, a Jim Reed poster, signed, something like that that would be valuable to them after the fact versus buying their entire way. I think people got to invest in themselves. And by the way, I mean, we're not all brokers, and so they also get to write that sucker off. So their travel's just fine.
Robin, I heard somebody taught me something years ago that I've never forgotten. And he said, Carl, if they don't pay dollars, they don't pay attention. If they don't pay
Mm,
dollars, they don't pay attention.
Mm,
And I kind of like it. And again, I think like, look, even if they don't go, I get so like Robin, if I came up to you and said, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to this thing, would you like to go? Carl, I can't. I'm busy. Me and the handsome Mr. are going to be we're busy that weekend, or whatever that is. I still get kudos from you for inviting you, even
amen.
even if you don't go, right?
Yes.
So I think there's kudos there that like, hey, Carl thinks enough of me to invite me to something like this. Yeah, you get kudos even if they don't go, you get kudos. It's been my
Yeah,
experience.
there's
mm,
business opportunity everywhere in those kind of things, and I think sometimes we think a little bit short on that stuff, right? We don't think about,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna go, you know what? I'll bring you back and let's have lunch or coffee in the interim, join this or do this, and you gain their interest. You're exactly right, Carl, and I think you get a lot of kudos, and I think there's often maybe not quite equally as spending a couple days together, but there's equal value in rejection, if you will, in that or a no, or I can't make it that time, as what there is being able to attend.
mm.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Robin, thank you so much. Always
Thanks for
appreciate
having me,
your
guys.
insights. Yeah, good stuff. Hey guys, if you're not registered for the event, you do want to get to the event, we'll get the link into the chats. Mastermind, what is it? What is it?
Mastermindretreats.com.
Mastermindretreats.com. It's in the chat. Justine got it there. You got to go. Like if you haven't been to one, go. Anybody who's on here who's been to them would tell you they're just phenomenal. The thing that's great about a mastermind event, guys, is that, the mastermind retreats with animals is, uh, you know, and I say this, Carl, all the time. There is absolutely nothing wrong with getting motivated, right? There's nothing wrong with getting inspired. Good stuff. But what I love the most about the animals events, and always have for decades now, is that you go to the animals event. You're going there to build a plan and execute. Like when you leave, you have what you're doing, not just ideas and
I can
thoughts and
do it.
concepts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just, I can make this happen. I'll figure it out. No, it's like, here's what you do. Step one, two, three, four. You get together, you brainstorm together, you lay out your plan, you figure out your numbers. You're going to figure out your numbers for 2027. You're going to figure out how to get there and what the activities are that you've got to do to get there. That's why they're so good. And that's what you want to do. So if you haven't registered yet, do register. Mastermindretreats.com.
Yeah,
Uh,
there will be no standing on chairs and fist pumping. There will not
right.
be. That will not be. However, I have to tell
Right.
you, my favorite part might be the night before. We put it's right on Clearwater Beach, which is just gorgeous in October. It's gorgeous all the time, but in October it's exquisite.
Yeah.
And we have a little campfire, or they build little, I'm gonna say bonfire, but they build like little fire pits
Mhm.
Yeah.
out there on the beach for us, and it's just us. And we get these big chairs and these big circles, and that might be my favorite part is the night before. So when you fly in, if you can get there early enough, I think we get out there like at, I don't know, like 6 o'clock, something like that, 7 o'clock, something like that. We sit out by the fire pits, and that might be my favorite part.
Yes.
I
Such a
agree,
good time.
Carl. I agree.
Yeah.
I got to meet Robin like up close and personal and chat with her. I mean, just going to these events and being able to meet everyone that we see every day, whether it's Call Stars or Mortgage, or Loan Officer Breakfast Club. It's amazing. It's just such an
Yeah.
amazing community. They'll
And,
miss it.
and,
Not
and
to
one
be
thing I
missed.
found out is Frank looks way more handsome in person than he does on the video here. I know on the video it's a little challenging in person. He's quite stunning,
Is
actually.
Frank
Quite
actually
stunning.
coming? Are we going to meet Frank?
Well, we're deciding yet if we're gonna what our standards are gonna be, but we're
Don't have
so
those
Mrs.
expectations of
Gray
Robin
is
looking better in person.
yeah,
Well, we're
Mrs.
we're
Gray
we're
is absolutely coming, and
well, we're fighting over the presidential suite right now.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
we'll see what happens. So,
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, early bedtimes, whatever, Michael Harris.
Yeah. Hey, but East Coast
All
time,
right.
so it'll be better.
It'll be
East
perfect
Coast,
for me.
it'll
Yeah.
be perfect for you. You'll get
Yeah.
up at normal time and you'll go to sleep at normal time.
Right. Yeah. Fun stuff.
So,
All right,
anyway.
you guys, man. Thanks. Hey, Robin, thank you so much. Super
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me.
Hey, thanks for checking out the highlights of today's Loan Officer Breakfast Club live call. Remember, you can join us live every day, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday at breakfastclubzoom.com. If you'd like to see full replays, you can get those by becoming a member over at Mortgage Marketing Animals Next Level. If you want to learn more, go to mmanextlevel.com. And thanks for joining us here at the Loan Officer Breakfast Club website. For that, we'd like to give you a free gift. If you just scroll down to the bottom of the page, we always have a giveaway for you, something really cool. With that, you have a great one. We'll catch you on the live call. See you then.